Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for taking the time this Wednesday afternoon. We realize that over the last 2 days, you have been a little busy with some webinars. So we'll just quickly look at the next slide and we'll see where we are in the agenda. So today, it's the Wednesday, 19th of April. It's the second session. So we appreciate your patience, and we know that you've had far more entertaining presentations on the challenge areas yesterday and today. And today you get the very entertaining topic of commercialization and financial sustainability, which is all our favorite topics. And we're going to have a deep dive in that today. Okay, so in the next slide, we will quickly show you what we hope to achieve today. So we have an hour, okay, but we want to let you know this hour isn't the end and be all of that. We have an ongoing process over the next 4 or 5 months with all of our partners, gold, silver, network partners and hubs. And we'll be discussing the FSM mechanism and opportunities to revisit this and how that would work. So today, what are we going to do? So please go back to the previous slide. So today we'll do the following topics. What is FSM? So we hope that once we've reviewed this, we will understand what FSM is and the difference between our activity and Normal Horizon Europe, Pillar 3 and Pillar 2. We hope to give you a good overview of the last 3 years of FSM. So we have an experience. So we will go over the socioeconomic results and ensure that we have a common understanding of open issues, challenges, and some of the recommendations that have been made to start those detailed one-on-one discussions. Then we'll look ahead to FSM for the next 3 years and the ideas of common responsibility, partnership, and how to make this a more positive experience. And we will introduce 3 specific models, which are based on all of the activities of the last few years. There'll be some detailed on the 3 models. You have their names there, and this will give you a good point for you to start asking and developing your own ideas and questions. And then we will finish up with some next steps about the one-on-one meetings on offer, the support that we can provide, and the discussions and what we achieve. Now, Q&A is there at the end. We have an hour. We're going to try and get through this, but the bulk of the value is probably going to be sitting down and discussing about your proposals and finding an FSM that matches. Okay, so next slide. We will move to what have we done? So I mentioned the last 3 years, but given 2022, we're still finalizing some documents. We're going to see some figures from 21 and 20, but it is the same message for 22. So quickly, the next one, we'll see who are we and why are we here? So we highlighted that we are Pillar 3. We are not Pillar 2. So in the EU terms, we are funded for 14 years with a block grant that's to help us to mature to financial independence, to continue investing in innovation, but no longer dependent on EU funding. So this is called the Financial Sustainability Mechanism, FSM, or often FS, okay? It is the initial intent of the EIT is that we are commercial, growth, and about making money and skilling up Europeans to make money and deliver the technologies we need for our future. So we are not classic Pillar 2 program. It's not a research program. So we pay on outcome, and we do not pay on activity. That's very different, and it has caused lots of challenges for us and our partners. Importantly, we work on TRL 6 and above, sometimes even TRL 7, depending on the project. And we expect you to make revenue between 12 and 24 months from including the time in the project. So it is high TRL, and there's a lot of commercial emphasis there. 2 main methods of FSM. We've had commercial revenue on products and also equity on startups. So that's who we are and why we've done this. Now, let's sit back and see how have we done. First of all, let's consider the social impact that we've had. So we had VTT, which is an internationally renowned research institute in Finland, who have a well-known modeling system to value social impact. Look at our portfolio of projects over the last 3 years. They were allowed to randomly select as they wanted, and we gave them additional documentation. They came back and asked for more, and we gave context. The outcome has been the following. They said that our projects do show high capacity and potential for social impact, but most remain anticipatory due to early stages of commercialization and failure to scale up. So what they're saying is that the social impacts are not realizable in the project, and we seriously need to reevaluate how we support projects commercialized in the 24, 36 months. They also identified that finding suitable partners to manage the scale up, and then serious disagreements of division of responsibility and accountability within consortia were a challenge on this. So a suitable commercialization partner should be identified early on. They also highlighted that we should remove the commercial risk from cities, which legally can't take that on, and that's been done. So we already implemented that last year, huge improvement. But they wanted a division of responsibility at different stages of the project life cycle, differentiating between collective responsibility while you're planning a project and then specific responsibility once you've actually signed the contract and it's a product. The inability to produce business plans is blocking profitability. So basically what they were saying is that commercialization should be from the inception of a plan. And that addresses this dichotomy of, is it social impact or economic value? Actually, you cannot have social impact unless people want to buy your product and implement it. The way that you have social impact is have people buying and using your solutions. So that is not a dichotomy that we can any longer accept, that I'm doing a great project, which is great for society, when no one's actually bought it and there's only one demonstration. So it was very enlightening assessment by VTT on social impact. And we didn't expect to get this strong message on commercialization back from them. We thought it was all going to be about the social. Now, let's see how we did economically. So we are going to be really honest with you. We think it's important. There's nothing that you don't know about our processes, but we found that the FSM has been conflictual. It leads to disagreements within consortia, disagreements within the partnership, with EIT and then us with Budapest. You know, it's a very conflictual relationship, and disagreements and things happen mid-project. We also found that the income expectations that we had been given by EIT, that there was every year this would increase gradually and the money would flow in. It's not true. Product life cycles don't work like that. And so we don't find it actually develops over that. People change products, new technologies come along. That's a fallacy. Also, we were highly dependent on Q4 when people have done the demonstrations, the final pilot, before we know how good a product was, which means there's a huge rush at the end of the year to try and make KPIs and demonstrations and commercial, which is a tough one. Also, we appear to have been paying for technology readiness levels, but not commercial readiness level. So the technology readiness levels there, but there's no capacity for a startup or a company to actually have a designed marketing strategy, approach, sales team, pipeline, delivery and support infrastructure. So commercial readiness level, we have to pay more attention to that. Importantly, we have EIT requesting to increase FSM, which have been historically low, and we're managing that. But what we have to admit is the revenue share is certainly not a scalable solution. You know, quarterly reporting for 5 years on products that might have had an end of life cycle 18 months after project. Our EIT proposal is equity is the primary pathway to FSM. However, equity is not a panacea. We need to have some balanced income and expectations. So the results are, we have total budgets of 33 million over 2 years. EIT spent 23 million. What was proposed in the applications was about 3 million worth returned to us of value from revenue, etc. We had 45 projects funded and commercial agreements were signed with 38. The financial contribution to date from that 3 million has been 44K, which is 0.19%. It's shockingly low for the amount of effort you and the EIT and the hubs have put into this. It's really not a good result. So Based on that, we have to rethink this. And importantly, we need to have a quick refresh of what that might mean. So importantly, if we just have a look now at the financial sustainability going forward and the new idea of partnership. Okay. Next slide. Yep. And there we go for the next 3 years. So the following slide gives a recap. So we now think that we need to change that dynamic to make it more a partnership relationship. So actions, we have to implement the lessons learned that we got from VTT and from the EIT. We also want to reduce the risk of underperformance on projects when it gets late in the project and you suddenly find things aren't working and there's challenges to you receiving your funding. But we do want to place commercialization at the inception of projects and balance this responsibility between risk and return between a consortium and sometimes the SMEs who are just landed a task and not understanding what it means. That collective responsibility, importantly, is not going to include the cities. And the collective responsibility will be on the group up until the FSM is signed. The outcome, we will create a partnership with the projects. Pre and post commercial agreement roles will be understood by everybody. We would reduce what we're calling performative compliance, like people creating a company that's dead shelf company and there's no capitalization. And it's literally a KPI tick box. We would drive up social impact and we reduce the perception that EIT is sitting just holding its hand out asking for money from you. We would become an active partner in helping you make sales. And we would drive financial success of the product and the SMEs together. Okay, so this is a big change in how we want to do this. And Antonio is going to explain a little bit further.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your interest in your program and for attending the session. So let's start with the 3 FSM models and partner types that we see in our calls. So the most common one is the first one is a general commercial partner. Let's say more than 85% of our commercial partners falls into this category, which corresponds to an SME profile or corporation that has not been invested before by the EIT Urban Mobility, and the consortia have no intention to create any new venture as a result of the project. The second category, B, is a portfolio company partner, which has been invested through any of our programs or have signed a safe agreement with the EIT Urban Mobility. Those are examples of programs that generate equity as a financial stability contribution. Among them is Raptor, the open call, previous open calls, the targeted calls, Challenge My City, accelerators, the investment readiness accelerator, the grant for equity, or the new European Bauhaus. The third category type of partner is a new company spin out created as a result of the project. So for this new company, the consortia assigned the role of the commercial partner to one of the members that is responsible for the registration, the capitalization, and the setup of the new company. For that kind of commercial partner, which is the new company, the market readiness evaluation will be compulsory. Now, in terms of timelines, actions, and outputs related to the financial sustainability, during the evaluation process, starting from the very beginning at the proposal stage around June, the consortia will be required to provide information about the company size, all referred to the commercial partners, if the company has been invested before by the EIT Urban Mobility, if a new company will be created as a result of the project, the commercial strategy, business model canvas, and also financial projections. The output of this stage is, of course, the proposal submitted. Without this information, you won't be able to submit the proposal. Then, in a first round of external evaluation during the month of July, external evaluators will evaluate your proposal based on excellence, implementations, and impact. The output is a summary from the external evaluators, the summary evaluator report, along with the long list of proposals that goes through to the next step. In between the first and the second round, it will be a finance clearance, and the proposals long listed will be required to submit the financial statements and a central credit register report of the commercial partner. An external firm will undertake a risk assessment that will be used jointly the summary evaluation report in the second round that will take place in November. In this second round will be a panel hearing where the consortia partners will be invited to present the project, and they will be answering questions from the summary evaluation report and also the risk assessment report. As an output of this second round will be a short list of proposals that will move to conditioning and contracting phase, which is the last phase. At this stage, before signing the financial support agreement, the terms and conditions of the financial sustainability contribution will be discussed and agreed. So in terms of new stages introduced for this call, we have the financial clearance in between the both rounds, the panel hearing, of course, and also the signature of the commercial agreement that has been moved from to the very beginning, even before starting the implementation. So importantly, the commercial agreement signed with the financial sustainability agreement won't be in vigor until the pre-financial is transferred to the consortia. In terms of processes and methodologies, so we are introducing the commercial readiness level evaluation, which is a methodology that has been developed internally, but it's going to be reviewed by an external consultant, Imperial College London, in the coming months, and also will be used in improved during those months before the conditioning arrives. So, as a definition, we can say that the CRL is similar to what most of us know, the technology readiness level, but provides us with an understanding of the commercial partner readiness for going to market. So those evidence that we will collect from this methodology, this assessment, will help us to understand in which stage is the commercial partner and if it's ready for the commercialization of the outputs. In the process, the commercial partner will be provided access to a form, an online form, and he will be requested to answer questions by writing, but also provide evidence and justifications, such as business model canvas, sales forecast, contracts with clients, among others. So the idea is that by scoring these answers, it will give us the commercial readiness level of the partner, and we will tailor the kind of support that the AAT Urban Mobility will provide to the commercial partner beyond the implementation in the go-to-market phase. It's important to mention that this is mandatory, and failing on going through this process, it might mean that the commercial partner and the proposal won't move forward into the conditioning and contracting. So this won't exclude any proposal for being awarded, because of course the proposal and the project will have gone through all the evaluation process, and this is the last stage. It's just for us to evaluate at which stage commercial readiness is the commercial partner. If the commercial partner is ready for the exploitation of the results, and how we can support the commercial partners to do a better exploitation. So in terms of the outputs of this assessment, so the methodology give us a score that places the commercial partner in a CRL level between 1 and 9. So the lower the level means more support needs the partner, and the higher means it's closer, it's ready to go to market with existing products and the new product that it's going to be developed during the project implementation. From CRL 1 to 3 as an example, which is an MVP that has not been fully tested, it has not market traction. So the kind of support we will provide to the commercial partner is mentoring, advice, opportunities for bids. So that kind of things. Then from CRL 4, 5, 6, so the MVP is functional, the solution has been tested with 3 clients or more, but doesn't mean that the client has paid for the product, but at least there is an agreement where the product has been validated. We've got feedback, you've got feedback from the client or the potential client, and it's happening. And then in CRL 6, so the solution has been implemented and is giving service at least to one regular client. So for those CRLs, on top of the mentoring and bids and tenders opportunities, we'll work with them closely in generating deals opportunities. In CRLs, in higher CRLs, 7, 8, and 9, like the company has one client or more in a year, or existing clients in different markets, or more than 5 clients. So CRL 9, it's a company that it's in different markets or has more than 5 clients and has a sales structure, people in-house that is fully dedicated in sales, in making sales. For those CRLs levels, we will work back to back to increase their sales opportunities and contribute to the pipeline of the company. Now we move to the commercial partner, in general terms. Gareth, will you take it?
Yeah. There we go. So general. So when we gave you a list of A, B, and C, they are in that order. So we expect about 80% of all projects will fall under general commercial partner. When it comes to B and equity, probably at max about 15% is what we're looking at from previous years' experience. And C, startup. Startups that are new are one of our lowest KPIs. We expect about 5%, not more. Okay, so they're ordered A, B, and C in that order. So obviously I'm going to talk about the one that we think the bulk of partners are going to fall under. So in this, when you complete the second round panel hearing and you get the score for the consortia, okay, all the consortia should be supporting to make sure content's there, except the cities. And if the project fits with this category A commercial partner, and you're at level 5 or so, we will then look at what is a fixed and variable fee. Okay, so the fixed fee will be based on the results of the CRL, and we will include factors such as company size, grant value, your partnership level, gold, silver, RU risks, etc. Now, this fixed fee will be discussed and proposed during the conditioning phase, and all consortia partners, excluding cities, are involved in this negotiation. We are not allowing any more partners to have 150,000, 75,000, 200,000, and an SME that has been allocated 75,000 being allocated this and being left alone to bear the burden of that, not understanding what it means. So there is collective responsibility to design that together. Okay, so there's a fixed fee that has to be taken care of. Then, interestingly, we have a variable fee. Now, a variable fee, again, the percentages would be discussed with that. And the difference is we will not sit back and wait for you to give us cash. The duration of agreement, 2 to 3 years. Okay, so we'll slim down from some of that 5 years because we know products change. But importantly, the success fee will be discussed on any sale facilitated by EIT Urban Mobility. If you as a company make a sale without us involved, then you will not be subject to the variable fee. Okay, so you see the big difference that we've learned is we now have skin in the game. we don't make any variable fee, which is what the bulk of what we're expecting to target, unless we bring new clients to you that you can sell to. So we are ramping up as the EIT has ramped up the FSM on the projects. We are ramping up the FSM on our own organization and making us accountable to help you make those sales and work with you on that. Okay, big difference. So on the next slide, we'll see a little bit of what we'll be doing there. We become core to your go-to-market, and that's the difference. So the process, as you can see in the diagram, there's a CRL evaluation, we decide the ranking, but importantly, each company that we go through, and we have a different solution in a different sector, we will customize your development plan, mentoring and advice, lower down that technical, growth contribution to your sales pipeline, a common pipeline that we develop, and we'll promote opportunities for you and work with you, even to prepare bids and pitches if necessary. Okay, so importantly, we will be looking at tenders, bids, and support. This is not a one-way street now, it's a proper partnership. So we facilitate this in the go-to-market phase, which is what many of our partners have demanded, that we actually play an active role in this. Okay, now, if we look, the difference is what responsibilities on our side and what responsibilities on your side. So importantly, big difference is we have to work with the sales strategy, planning, and execution. So we provide named account managers to work with you and support that. We have regular commercial reviews with you to see where you're selling, where you're not, what might those issues be. We redefine objectives and segmentation targets with you. Also, you may want to go into different geographies that we could work with you. We help with support on market trends and plan to execution on roadmaps. And we work at qualified leads up to demo stage, okay? We will monitor and follow up until deal negotiation. If you choose us to help write bid documents with you, that's something else that could be done. On the commercial partner side, you will have to assign a commercial interface with us. Okay, we often are being given product engineers who have no clue of how to do that, but we want to try and scale them up, but assign a commercial lead interface. All relevant documents on products and services we can't sell unless we know all the details. So we may have to do additional NDAs, that's fine. You provide target clients, vertical marketing that you're working on, so that whatever we do adds to your plan and doesn't duplicate. We do expect a level of transparency on your sales strategy, sector and country, and with some openness on the costing, pricing for implementation and contact. So we can work on what discounts we could work with you to get into penetration at levels. You know, this is, we expect you to be sharing with us. And also, as while we do the sales strategy and execution with you, you've got to define what your expectations are, your targets, and how you allocate that. We will have regular commercial review meetings, and that's very important that our time isn't wasted. Okay, so it's no longer us sitting back every quarter waiting for a report of the money that you owe us. It's literally, it's a proper partnership to make this work now, to have the impact. Now, if we go to the next slide, this is the equity. So again, we're moving down the scale. This is about the 15%, and I'll let Antonio explain this one and also the new start projects.
Okay, so for equity portfolio companies already invested by the EIT Mobility, after the second round, the panel hearing, the commercial panel will be invited to have a discussion with the Impact Ventures team and assess which is the best way for us to increase the equity position in the company. We have available two instruments depending in different variables and contexts. The first one is existing price round, where a co-investor is leading a round and the valuation is known. So all the price per share is determined by evaluation. So the investment conditions are negotiated and specified, and the EIT's ownership of the shares is acquired after the closing of the round. So then we have a second option, which is future equity, a safe agreement that will be signed when a company valuation is not known. So the value cap is negotiated at the safe agreement signature, as well as at discounts. So this process might not progress And if so, we'll find other ways to other FSM possibilities. Okay. Then the third model is the company created as a result of the project. And in this case, the consortia and the commercial partner assigned by the consortia as the responsible of the creation of the company will discuss with us at the commissioning phase the enrollment of the new company into the market readiness evaluation program, which is a program that will take place during the implementation of the project. This responsibility falls into the commercial partner, and the consortia has to be clear on the financial on the equity share that is offered to the EAT at the proposal at this stage. And then the commercial partners is the one that is accountable for the creation, registration, capitalization, and the setup of the new company. And it has the consortia has the possibility of including the new company into the consortia before the amendment process. So the consortia have the possibility, of course, to relocate existing tasks in the project and include the new company as a consortia partner. So that means the new company has the possibility to create a structure since the very beginning. In terms of the market readiness evaluation program, it will take place around no later than the month 9. So the company should be operational by month 8. So in this program, what is going to be evaluated is the potential of the new technology, the company. So it's divided in 5 phases, but the company and the commercial partner in charge of the company will receive also feedback. So it's not only an evaluation, a call evaluation that will be used by us to decide if it makes sense for us to accept the equity as a contribution, but it will also bring benefits to the company, to the new company. So if at the end of this program, which will take what might be required 18 hours from your time over 2 months, so we'll have a report for us, for the consortia, and with the report internally, we will assess if the equity is accepted by us or not. Otherwise, if the equity is not an option, we will agree on an alternative and the conditioning stage. Now I think it's about to finish the presentation, Garrett.
So we have shared a huge amount of information. So those of you who are already members of our networking community, you will know a lot of this. For those of you who are new, just remember, A is going to be 80% of those projects. B is an equity company we've already invested in from other programs. That's about 15%. And C is if there's a new start coming out of a project. So most of you will be able to just concentrate on A. But we want to highlight that this is a process, and we are moving forward for a more balanced, less contentious, less of a rush at the end of the year. We are making sure commercialization is integrated. So to move ahead, the Gold partners will have one-to-one meetings with me, and we will be discussing this. And the most important, when you bring a project and you've got your ideas, at the same time as you're discussing with us how to arrange that, we'll be discussing the FSM with you and the commercial approach. So it's not going to be an add-on in month 7 when you think, oh, halfway through, I better make that plan. So we'll be doing it. We'll be discussing how that should be done, how we want to work together, etc. With Silver partners, this will be one-to-one meetings with the innovation hubs and the ILOs there. And importantly, that available work, we'll also be doing working groups in hubs when we visit as well. So there's a chance to have individual and group work. Network partners who are not yet members, you can book bookable meetings through BetaMatch to discuss in detail your project, the idea, and how it would fit with this FSM approach. And any consortia that comes together, once you get 2 or 3, we can help you with the FSM help desk right up until the day before you submit. Okay, just so you know, the evaluators are external, and the people who do the support in the hubs don't get to be involved in the evaluation. So we can truly hold your hand through the process, do 2 or 3 revisions of it with you. We're there to try and make sure you succeed. Okay. The outcome of all these meetings that we're going to have, both group meetings and individual meetings, is for the general commercial partner, we want to define targets for fixed and variable fees with you. We want to agree on what reduction criteria should be and what percentages should be. If people have multiple projects, you know, how much that should change, and linking different projects, you know, that's really got to be done on real cases, not on concept. Equity partners, importantly, we will have guidance given from Impact Venture, and those companies know who they are. That's the good thing. And it'll be working on a process and structure they know, but we will ensure that they understand if they involve in the open call, this is how we work. On the NewCo spin-outs, this is really interesting for us. So of course, we've already gone through the best of benchmarking of what's available, and we've brought this together, but we will be getting some support from Imperial Business School, checking that and ensuring it's viable and it works. And we're implementing it and already testing it on some projects this year before we need to use it towards the end of the year. So it's not a blind experience. There's going to be a cost price requirement for that, and it's going to be commensurate with a startup. So we have to make sure that that's managed. And importantly, in May, I have to go and account to the other KICs, DG EAC, Education and Culture, and Budapest. And I have to give them an account of how we're addressing the issues that we encountered over the last 3 years. So this is an ongoing process. It's very much related to the specific projects. If someone gets 60K from a project, it's very, very different from a project of 500,000, okay? So it is cut according to your needs, but it is a process, and it's far more effective when we discuss an applied application of this to your proposal and your partners, okay? So please, there's a lot of information, review it, and we're happy to sit down, and we can even sit down and go through the slides with you again individually if you need that to be done, okay? Now, today, we're going to move to questions, but I just want to recap on the next slide of where we are. So in the process, we have now done the presentation for Wednesday the 19th, and we're going to move to questions. Your next session tomorrow is on guidance to applicants and how to use Plaza. And it was mentioned there's some sections where you have to put the commercial lead. That type of information, again, will be there tomorrow. So in the meantime, the next slide will give you our FSM specific support email, okay? And we would like to open to questions.